you are not losing fat, here are some 3 hard truths that, as somebody who wants to see you be successful with your health and fitness in the long term, I have to share this with you so you can get the right information and make the best decisions for your health. Because do you want to have a longer health span or do you want to have a longer lifespan? Because typically, if you don't have a good health span, you're not going to have a long lifespan. So for those of you who don't know me, before we get into this, my name is Chris. I run an online fitness business called the Trailblazer Fitness Academy, where I help people lose weight and keep it off long term, using sustainable methods and eating foods they enjoy in a way that makes sense. So if that is something you are into, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, because that's where I teach on every single video that I have. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go with some hard truths for you. Okay, first thing is one of the hard truths is that you aren't in starvation mode. Okay, because if that were true, why are all these guys that were stuck in this literal concentration camp thin? They were starved to death. They had to dig graves for their families, not to get morbid, and they were all paper thin. If that was the case, why aren't you that way if you're not seeing the fat loss success that you want? Because it's not starvation mode. It's not a real thing. And if it was a real thing, if you were in that, you would be an anomaly, because that would mean that no matter how little food you eat, you're absolutely making more out of what you have. This is actually called a white hole. It's a phenomenon that we aren't even sure of in science, of how there's a spot in space where just energy is floating out of it seemingly from nothing. We have no idea how that works. So if that is you, dude, we got to take you into like Harvard or Oxford or what are these super duper smart schools and check you out, because you are defying the laws of physics as we know it. Or there might be something else. No, your kids didn't do anything either. It's not their fault, okay? Because you didn't become a mom or a dad or whatever, then get pregnant, or your spouse got pregnant, and then you became bigger. You didn't grow. You didn't get bigger. Your bones didn't get bigger. Your organs didn't get bigger. Your muscles magically didn't get massively bigger. None of that happened. So it's not that your kids left your body. So you don't even have a child in you anymore, let alone you getting bigger. And I'm not saying this to be a jerk. I promise I'm going to give you stuff at the end of this to go over how we're going to fix all the problems that you might be running into. Okay. But that's just not the case, unfortunately. And no, it's not your hormones either. Okay. I know that the thyroid hormone and estrogen and adrenaline and insulin and testosterone are all the criminals of why your body's not going well, whether it's too high in one or too low in the other, or not enough of one or too much of another. Okay, the reality is that all of these hormones are not the sole reason why you might be feeling the way you feel. Now, is there real things when it comes to these things? Absolutely. And I know this first one, I'm not going to get many friends with. But again, I'd rather be kind and tell you the things that you need to hear than be nice to lead you to believe that you're stuck for no reason. And so oftentimes, what do we hear? Hey, birth control made me gain weight. Okay? And so when we look at birth control, it's like, all right, birth control side effects: headaches, mood changes, acne, abdominal cramping, bloating, depression, spotting between periods, breast tenderness, nausea, weight gain. Weight gain! Oh my gosh! Could it be? Is that the thing? I don't think so. Studies don't think so either. Okay. On the whole, researchers concluded it seems very unlikely that hormonal contraception caused major weight gain. If there's a strong effect, it would have been noticed in the studies, but this doesn't rule out the possibility that individual women could in fact gain weight. Okay. It doesn't say that it happened because of the hormones. It means, hey, it's unlikely that that the hormone contraceptives caused it, but they're not ruling out people could have gained weight from it. Then what could it have been? Well, all of these with the check marks could easily be solved from stress eating, which the vast majority of people that are trying to lose weight have a major problem with. I've worked with over 2,000 people in the last 14 years of doing this. I had tons and tons of transformations of 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 plus pounds in less than a year. And the vast majority, I'm talking 95+%, have dealt with stress eating. And so when you have a headache, mood changes, abdominal cramping, pain, why is it that when women on their menstrual cycle go, oh, I really, really need chocolate, I need some comfort food? It's because they're trying to help their brain, help themselves not feel stress, pain, what have you. Now, I'm not saying this in a negative light, and I know, again, I'm not making friends with this, but the reality is all of these are likely due to overconsumption of calories, which is the name of the game here, okay? And so this is what we call not primary, but secondary effects, meaning birth control causes these things, which then cause us to use that as a solution to solve them. Here's another example. Low thyroid hormone. All right, low thyroid hormone. The main thing that it causes fatigue, lethargy. Okay, not good. But also it can cause unexplained weight gain. Weight gain are other things that people will experience. Okay, so most hyperthyroid, meaning people that have too much thyroid hormone going, have a positive of 20% or better from their basal metabolic rate. That's calories burned doing nothing. And this is the main thing that hypothyroid or underactive thyroid or my thyroid hormone's low, whatever, is the culprit of. Okay, it lowers the basal metabolic rate. Okay, and that's one of the jobs of the thyroid is to maintain the metabolic rate. Okay, so hyperthyroid is at plus 20%, which is gangster. That's awesome. It's not good, but it's better than under, right? And hypothyroid is negative 20. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Except when you look at the first sentence in this study. And the study says normal BMR ranges from negative 15% to positive 5. Meaning when they look at people that within normal thyroid levels, based on what they perceived it could be or standard, it can be as low as 15%, as high as 5. And so on the real, it's off at 5% from normal, which if a man and woman were following the same sort of diet plan and they were not suspected of having this thyroid problem, what would the difference be? Well, a woman would gain 1 pound of fat in 47 days, and a man would gain 1 pound of fat in 41 days. That's the difference. It's going to take a long, long time. And by that point, you would make adjustments and it would be very challenging. It's literally 70 calories and 80 calories respectively. It's really not that much. And so it's not a thyroid problem. It's not the direct cause from the hypothyroidism that is causing this weight gain, because when people are diagnosed with this, they're gaining a lot of weight. At least they perceive having this problem. What is the real problem? Well, when you're tired and fatigued all the time, you're not going to move around as much, which means you're not going to get the calories from moving as much, which means you're going to gain weight. Okay, and I'll show you a prime example of somebody who was running into this problem prior to coming into my program. Okay, and what we're doing currently to fix it, and what we've done to have her lose a bunch of weight in the process. Okay, and so why is this important? Because this is actually thyroid problem is a tertiary problem. Okay, of weight gain being the problem, meaning hypothyroidism caused you to feel fatigued. Fatigued makes you not move around as much, which then leads to weight gain. Third problem. See this? And so it's not this directly, it's indirectly causing these sort of things. Okay, so hard truth number one, that is the real problem. Okay, those things are the fake ones that people throw out there, that these are why you're not losing it. Not true. Hard truth number one, you probably have low muscle mass, which makes your fat loss capacity low. Let me explain. This is somebody named Lisa. Lisa's working with me, and she felt like she didn't look great at 124 pounds. Problem. Okay, she's 5'1", I think, in her early 40s. Looks phenomenal, right? At 5'1", 124, you would see no problem, and I agree. On just that basis, no problem. But the reality is that we got her down to lose about 16 pounds so far. Okay, lost a bunch of her stomach. I mean, look at the difference. Doesn't she look way better now? Oh my gosh, she looks amazing. I think she's like 42 or something like this. She looks phenomenal. Here's the reality though, and this is what she's getting her butt kicked, and why you likely are running into the same problem, is that she only has 85 pounds of lean mass. Now there's two buckets of stuff. We have our lean mass, and then we have our fat mass. Lean mass is everything: hair, skin, nails, bones, water, poop, pee, fluid, muscle, organs, all that stuff. Fat is just fat. And so when we're talking having lean mass at 85 pounds, that is really, really low, meaning all the metabolic tissue, the stuff that requires energy, is really low. And which results in her only having a basal metabolic rate of 1,096, which, to give you perspective, a solid, decent basal metabolic rate for women, now there is no standard, but in my experience, the solid amount is like 1,450 to 1,500, okay? Because, as an example, in order for Lisa to be able to eat 1,600 calories per day, she has to walk 10,000 steps every day, she has to hit her protein amount, and burn an extra 100 calories from fitness just to get to 1,600 calories per day. Now, the average woman eats 2,400 calories per day. Do you see how this is a problem? Okay? And so if this is you, right, if you've never followed a muscle building, not strength building. Those are two completely separate things. Okay, never followed a muscle building program. If you've never lifted weights, if you haven't lifted weights for over a year and you don't play sport right now, hey, guess what? This is one of the problems you're running into, period. Okay, as much as I'd love to be like, oh, it's something else, this is one of your problems. You just have low muscle mass. Plain and simple. Is it mean for me to say? No, it's just like I have low accordion strength, finger dexterity. Why? I don't play the accordion. So of course I'm not going to be good at that. Of course. Similarly, it just hurts when it's like harsh, and it's true. The reality is, though, that's likely one of your problems. Okay, hard truth number 2 is you're eating a lot, just not a lot. You're eating a lot of calories, not a lot of food. Let me show you. Okay, these are examples of things that are 100 calories. Okay, ignore, by the way, I see on here there's a strawberry thing that looks really small. I'll share with you why that's crazy in a minute. So check this out. Look at the differences here. So look at, let's look at this. Butter. 1 tablespoon of butter is 100 calories. Whereas 25 strawberries, 100 calories. 17 peanuts, 100 calories. And obviously that's way more than 17. You see why this scale is kind of silly. Okay. 3 baby oranges are like minis. It's 100 calories. Look at this. That much jelly. Look at that. Versus that many apples. Wild. Now check this out. This is where it's going to blow your freaking mind. Over 1 pound of strawberries is 100 calories. The average strawberry weighs 21 grams. And if they're 25 strawberries equals 100 calories, 21 times 25 is 525. 1 pound is 450 grams. So it's over 1 pound of strawberries has the same amount of calories as the equivalent in weight of a set of earrings does for peanuts. So you take the weight of earrings in peanuts, you take a pound of strawberries, they contain the same amount of calories. So would it not stand to reason that if you're not losing fat and you're like, I'm not eating a lot, well, the foods you are eating contain a lot of calories, but is not a lot of food. Okay? And now here's something else. The bites, licks, and tastes are adding up. Now you might be like, I don't do that stuff. Okay, well, check this out. People reported under lab conditions 25% lower than what they actually ate. Let me read that again. People reported 25% lower calories than what they actually ate, which means they ate 25% more than what they thought under lab conditions. What does that mean? People were literally staring at them eat. And they said, I ate this much. And they're like, no, you didn't, because I just watched you. Would it stand to reason that if somebody is reporting this under lab conditions, when people are staring at them, could it be higher when no one's watching? Yes or no? Yes. And by the way, 25% was the average, which means some people did more. I found one study. I wish I could find the link. And if you really are like, Chris, you're just an a-hole. I was about to say a potty word, but I'm trying not to. So this video gets more views. Chris, you're just an a-hole. I need proof of this stuff. I can find it. I'll do more research and I'll find where the study was. But there was a study done that it showed people ate 100% over. And this is a study done out of Australia from people that claimed they could not lose weight. And they're like, okay, bet. They took 10 of these guys, or I think it was 13, okay? All of them said there were other problems, hypothyroidism, age, sex, whatever, okay? And then one person said that it was because they overate, okay? All of them then had tracked their food, and when they tracked their food, they were still off by a little bit because, quite honestly, tracking your food's a skill. It's not something you get good at it, right? It's not like out of the box you should be amazing. You got to know what to find, what to look for, how to know if something seems off, all these things. That just takes time, okay? So they're off by a little bit, nothing nuts, okay? And then the people said, hey, we're not going to follow you anymore for this week. Can you just track your food for us? And they said, sure, okay? But they actually were following them. And when they actually followed them, people were over 100%. They ate over 100% more than what they actually reported. They had like somebody watching them eat. They had like cameras or something set up in their house. It was very interesting. And so That's the key here. Now, is it because I think that you're lying or that, oh, Chris, you're just one of those fitness guys that thinks I'm fat, lazy pig? Absolutely not. I have never, ever, nor would I ever assume that from anybody at all. And I know, like, hey, if you're just watching my videos, you don't really know me, but look at my past content, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all these things. I'm an advocate for people being healthy. The reality is, though, I don't want you to live in the lie of, like, hey, what you're doing is probably hurting you. Because then you become a victim of circumstance. And I would rather you be in control and feel empowered to go, this is where I'm messing up. This is what I can do to improve so I can get the body I want. So your health span is longer and your lifespan is longer. You see what I'm saying? So that you're not living longer than your health allows for. Meaning if you're healthy, I'm good until I'm 50, but I live until 70, that's 20 years of not good health. And you deserve better than that. Okay? No, it's not what I'm saying. Okay? So, reality is, tracking food is a skill, like I said. Like, to know what things are right versus not right, and even in things that are verified, is very challenging. And literally, Lisa coincidentally got hit with that last week when we did her check-in. She had sweet potatoes on there that said they had 9 grams of fat in them. And I was like, well, potatoes don't contain fat. And that's 81 calories, by the way. And for somebody who burns that little calories, luckily she overestimated what she was eating, but still, it's pretty detrimental when you get hit with something like that. It really sucks. Okay, so that's number one. Unconscious eating is a response habit, aka cleaning up your kid's plate, 1 fruit snack, bites, licks, and taste, a little bit of sip. All these things add up. And you might be like, it's not a lot. You're right, it's not a lot once, but it is a lot 20 times. Each time you cross the pretzel bowl, you grab one. And you do that 20 times in a day, it's 20 pretzels, right? That's a lot. And that just changes. And it's probably not going to make you gain a bunch of weight, but it's definitely going to change your trajectory of where you're going or where you think you're going versus where you're going, right? 85% of us are acting in our subconscious at any given time, meaning 85% of the time, we're not even consciously aware of what we're doing. How many of you, okay, put it in the comments below. I've done it too, no shame. Got in a car, got somewhere, and you're like, how did I get here? How did I get here? You're like, oh man, I know, obviously I was there because I didn't just teleport. But from here, my house to my office, I'm like, how did I even get here? It's like I've done this thing so many times. Like I see the lights and I'm subconsciously aware of what I'm doing and I'm looking around and stuff. But man, my mind was not consciously aware of what was going on. Okay. And then snacking is a way to cope, meaning like we said before, when you're stressed, when you can't sleep, when you're highly emotional, when you're happy, when you're sad, when you're depressed, when you're anxious, when you want a reward, when you need help. Like snacking and eating food is a way for us to cope with these problems. It makes our body slow down. When we eat, we start breathing slower, which lowers down our stress, and then food's in our gut, which means blood goes to the gut, lowering our epinephrine and norepinephrine, the things that kind of signal the fight or flight responses. Lowers our adrenaline because now we got food in there. We got to put blood back in this area, slows us down. Makes perfect sense. The reality is, though, those calories count still. Okay. And so, again, don't shoot the messenger. Okay. I'm just using over 2,000 other people's habits as evidence so you don't have to live 2,000 lifetimes to see what I've seen. I just have done this with so many people that, like, I'd be really, really stupid to not see patterns and stuff. Like, I'd have to be really dumb. Okay. And so what do I do? If you're like, okay, Chris, you're not as much of an a-hole as I think, hopefully. If you think I'm an a-hole, still comment down below. That's fine. Okay. So what do I do? What do I do now knowing that those hard truths are actually the things that are slowing me down and hurting myself and not getting me results? First, you got to follow a hypertrophy style program. 2, track your food. 3, add friction or rules to avoid unconscious eating. And so if you haven't lost the fat yet, it'd be best to gain the skills and discipline to do that first before you go into a hypertrophy program. I'll tell you why in a second, okay? And if that's you and you want to lose the fat and you still haven't done it, and you're like, man, I really, really need to do this, and I want to learn how to do it the right way and to lose it and keep it off, like I said in the beginning, hey, click the link in the, not the bio, but in the description down below. You'll be able to find a little form on there. We'll see if we're a good fit to be able to help you out, okay? But first thing, 5 rules of hypertrophy, as in building muscle. Hypertrophy, building muscles, okay? Building stuff. 1, lift heavy stuff. 2, lift until you can't, okay? Between 8 and 20 times, as in repetitions. 3 to 5 sets of the same exercise. 3 to 5 different exercises per body part per week. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. 3, lift until you feel the burn, aka your muscles are starting to burn real bad. Okay, those are the exercise components. The nutrition components. Eat more than what you burn, aka you're gonna have to get fatter, which is why you should lose the fat first. So when you build a couple pounds of fat, So for muscle building, it's okay because now we know how to lose it better, and you built more muscle, so it's faster the second time. Okay. And then 5, eat excess protein to make muscles. You can't build more muscles without the stuff that builds the muscles. Like, I want to build a brick house with no bricks. Have fun. Okay. You're not going to be able to do it. Okay. Next, track your food. Be honest with what you're eating and avoid giving things names like good, healthy, bad, unhealthy. All those things are useless because they make no sense. Eating a salad and muscle building makes no sense. Okay. A little bit of food, or a lot of food, a little bit of calories doesn't work. You need a lot of calories, a little bit of food when you're building muscle, so you don't have to eat 17 pounds of salad every single day, okay? And use words like closer to my goal, want, should. Like, I should eat donuts in muscle building. I should not eat donuts in fat loss because there's a lot of calories, a little bit of food, I'm going to be hungry, okay? Weigh everything in grams, use verified listings, but double check, use the same thing every single time. So don't use chicken breast, cooked chicken breast, use USDA, cooked chicken breast, ASDA, use the same one every single time. Once you verified it once, don't do it again, okay? And it's going to help with tracking your food just in general, so you don't have to look at 75 different listings for things, okay? Last things, okay? Friction. What does that mean? Harder to do in action. Rules, guidelines to follow, as in things that you do. Rules, I only am dating and am with my wife, period. End of story. That's the rule. That's how it works, okay? Friction, here's some examples, okay? Put snack food to the bottom of the pantry, so it's harder for you to get to them. Brush your teeth after every meal. That way it avoids snacking your food. Chew gum in between meals so that you're not going to take your gum out, put in mommy tax, daddy tax, whatever it might be, and then stick your gum back in. The gum's going to get ruined. Okay? Don't do that. Drink stuff. Eat foods you like, for God's sakes. Okay? Eat foods that you enjoy. Okay? That helps with not snacking. And eat high volume foods. Foods that make your stomach full of food, so it makes no sense logically to eat anything else. Okay? And then rules. Some guidelines to follow. Okay, I only eat while I'm sitting down at the table. That avoids you getting stuff while you're walking and eating. You cannot put food in your mouth if your butt is not in a seat at the table. Okay, no food in my room. Don't eat on the couch. I don't know, leave your debit card at home, or if you have a debit card, wrap it and say, hey, I do not buy fast food with this. Okay, I only eat foods from a grocery store, right? Whatever. Those are the guidelines. Those are things you can follow. The end. So, with that being said, hope you found this valuable. If you did, please like, subscribe, comment down below what you found best out of this. And if you have suggestions on something, or maybe I'm wrong and you want to prove me wrong, put it in the comments below. Let's have a conversation there. I will comment back, I promise. With that being said, have a phenomenal day. Kick some butt, take some names, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.